Of course, the Infiniti QX56 was designed for the US market, where it is assembled. However, it is officially supplied to Russia, having a circle of staunch admirers. For the first time, the Infiniti QX56 saw the light in 2004 at an automobile exhibition in Detroit, and its official sales in our country began in 2007. Only all-wheel drive versions are supplied to the European and Russian markets. Rear-wheel drive vehicles are also available in the USA. Until 2010, the Nissan Pathfinder Armada provided the aggregate base for the QX56, then the new Patrol. We are talking, of course, about the first generation. There is still too little data on the second. Under the hood of this 5.2-meter giant weighing 2,700 kilograms is a powerful and reliable gasoline V8 with 325 horses. The working volume corresponds to the index in the title, 5.6 liters. According to statistics, this unit requires only regular oil changes, for Russia, after every 10,000 kilometers, and replacement of candles together with flushing of injectors at large maintenance every 60,000 kilometers. It will also be useful to pay attention to the cooling system, to the radiator in particular. As with any other car, the QX56 should be cleaned of the radiator of the cooling system both during long-term off-road operation and during the summer fluff. The cost of the procedure is about 3,500 rubles. Replacing the radiator will cost 15,000 rubles. With work, poor quality fuel can lead to the appearance of carbon deposits on the plugs and, as a result, to failures and uneven operation of the engine. The problem is solved by replacing the candles and flushing the system. Another victim of substandard gasoline can be the fuel pump. The filter integrated in it becomes clogged, which leads to overheating and failure of the pump. Replacing a part costs about 16,500 rubles with work. You can extend the life of the unit by observing the rule, do not move on the yellow light. The fuel pump is lubricated and cooled by fuel, and if it is regularly operated with a dry tank, especially in the summer heat, it will not last long. Experts strongly recommend keeping the level of gasoline at least a quarter of a tank in any weather. In complete harmony with the engine, the 6-speed automatic transmission works smoothly and without any significant operational complaints. 4-wheel drive is provided by the All-Mode 4WD system. In auto mode, the distribution of torque between the axles is made depending on the degree of wheel slip. 2WD, 4WD high and 4WD low modes are also provided. In civilized conditions, the transmission works flawlessly, but it is worth noting that long-term off-road driving in all-wheel drive mode and with prolonged slipping, especially in the position with the wheels turned out, can lead to serious damage to the front axle. Due to the high load, the splines of the semi-axis are erased, and the metal chips that get into the lubricant injure the satellites and gears. Repair is expensive. The front axle assembly costs about 90,000 rubles, and the work to replace it costs 8,000 to 9,000 rubles. Suspension, like everything else in this car, solid and reliable. Front, McPherson systems, rear, independent multi-link. The ride of the car is quite smooth, but the handling of the QX56 does not shine. However, adjusted for weight and center of gravity, driving performance should be considered satisfactory. With a slight stretch, the weak point can be called the swap unit for the rear shock absorbers. According to statistics, with runs of the order of 140,000 to 150,000 kilometers, the rear suspension pump compressor often fails. In normal mode, the sound of a running compressor should be heard for the first 2 to 3 minutes after starting the engine. In case of incorrect operation, the sounds are either longer, or they do not exist at all. There are two probable reasons, either compressor wear or damage to the rubber tubes. Replacing the compressor will cost about 17,000 rubles. With work, replacing rubber hoses is somewhat more budgetary, about 6,000 rubles. It should be noted that the appeals associated with damage to hoses occur quite often due to the low degree of protection against mechanical damage when overcoming obstacles. The service life of shock absorbers depends on the degree of severity of operation, but before the complete loss of properties, they are able to cover 130,000 to 150,000 kilometers. However, quickly overcoming speed bumps, pits and potholes finishes them much faster, and replacement costs about 10,000 rubles per side, along with work. Again, with excessively dynamic driving over bumps, the service life of the struts and stabilizer bushings is greatly reduced. It is cheaper, 5,000 rubles per axle. Sometimes, in the fight against curbs, the upper levers suffer. The issue price is 8,000 rubles. Side with work. It is worth noting that experts do not name any standard list for suspension depending on mileage and note its endurance in standard modes. The car is dynamic, powerful, and massive, which undoubtedly affects the operation of the braking system. In urban operation, already at 60,000 to 80,000 kilometers of run, cases of beating during braking were noted. Replacing a set of discs and pads costs about 24,000 rubles. On the front and 22,000 rubles. To the rear axle. Salon roomy, comfortable. The driver's seat has many adjustments and allows you to comfortably accommodate a tall driver without compromising the comfort of passengers. The back row is often double, equipped with a console with convenient fixtures. Rebuilding to a triple consoleless version will cost 120,000 rubles. All seats, including the third row, with adjustable backrest, which is very nice. By the way, the trunk remains quite roomy even when using the third row of seats. In general, the car is characterized as reliable, convenient, and understandable in operation, able to comfortably cover long distances. It is noteworthy that it is the latter that the owners note as the main factor that prompted them to purchase.